Hello everyone, thanks for watching. Today I'm going to show you how to execute Selenium tests using Docker containers. So first of all, you should have Docker installed on your local machine, like this, right? And you should have basic understanding about Docker and Selenium Grid. So what is Selenium Grid? So Selenium Grid is a tool that allows you to run your UI tests in parallel across multiple machines and browsers. Now let's take a look at the picture here. So as you can see, this is the infrastructure that we're going to do today. So the test cases will be sent from the client to the Selenium Hub. Client here means your laptop, your local machine. And the Selenium Hub here is a central server that manages the grid and communicate with the nodes. So the nodes here are remote machines that run the web browser and execute a test. So in this video, there's only one node, and Chrome will be installed on this node. For executing tests, on multiple nodes, we will have another video. So for this video, we just want to make it simple. So with a Docker, we may need to set up a server for the hub here, a physical server. And for the nodes here, each node is supposed to be a physical machine as well. On each node, there will be different OS. For example, it could be Mac OS, Windows, or Linux. And on each node, there's supposed to be different browsers. For example, Chrome, Firefox, Safari. Now, with Docker, this part, the hub and the nodes, they can be Dockerized, which means that we don't have to set up physical servers for all of this. It would help to save a lot of efforts and resources. So as I said before, in this video, there will be one node only because we want to make it simple. So only this part will be Dockerized. For the first part of the video, I'm going to run tests from my laptop against the Docker container. On the second part of the video, I'm going to Dockerize this part as well. So we're going to run tests from the Docker container against another Docker container. Now let's go to Docker Hub and download this image, which is Selenium standalone Chrome, which enables you to run WebDriver tests remotely. So there are many versions of this image. So let's go to tags. I want to go with this version 121. So I just need to copy this command and go to terminal. Before I download it, let me check the Docker images on my local machine. Docker images. There is no images right now, right? So let's paste the command here and press enter. It's gonna download this image with this version, with this tag. Let's give it a few minutes. Okay, it's done. Let's check the images again on my local machine. Docker images. Great. So the image has been downloaded successfully. Now, let's run this image, okay? So go back here, go to overview. So you see there's a command here that you can use to start, the standalone Chrome. So let's copy it and go back to terminal. But instead of this tag latest, right, I want to use this tag 121.0, and that's it. Enter. It's done. So let's check the containers. Docker PS8. So the containers has been started successfully. So if everything is good, you can go to this address from your browser. Then you're supposed to see this UI, Selenium Grid. And as you can see, there is only one node in the grid right now. So if you go to the address localhost 17900, which is this port, right? Click on it. You're gonna see what is actually happening inside of the container. Now, let's take a look at our test project. We're gonna test this website, sourcedemo.com. This is a demo website that you can use to practice with your automation scripts. So for today's demo, we're going to do a very simple test case where we input the username and password, and then we want to validate that we can log in successfully. Like this. Okay, so here is our source code. So I'm going to share this test project later in my GitHub repository. And this is the test case. So you can see it's very simple. We input the username, we input the password, and then we click on the sign button. And then we want to validate that the home page, the inventory page is loaded successfully. That's it. There is one test case, but there are 3 sets of test data as you can see here. So eventually we have 3 test cases in total. Before we run the test, let's take a look at the driver helper here. So if you noticed, this is the address of the Selenium Hub, which is this one. So we have completed the structure where the client is connecting to the Selenium Hub and the hub is connecting to the node. Now let's run the test. Right now I'm at my test project. Because this is a Maven project, so I'm going to run this command nvn clean test -d test equal login test. The login test here is this file. Okay, now let's see how it goes. Enter. Cool. As you can see, the tests are running inside of a Docker container. So 3 test cases have run and passed, and you can see here. It was very quick, right? So going back to this picture, we have finished the first part of the video where we execute our test, from client against the Docker container. For the second part of the video, I'm gonna dockerize this part as well, which means I'm gonna build a Docker image for my test project, and I'm gonna run test cases from my Docker container against this Docker container. Now let's do it. So let's go back to the test project here. I already set up a Docker file. So the base image here that I'm going to use, a Maven. This is the version of Maven. 17 here is a version of JDK. And Alpine here is a Linux distribution. So this working directory workspace/test will be placed inside of the image. So in order for my test unit to be running successfully, I would need to copy this src folder into the image. The dot here represents the working directory. And also I copied this pom.xml into the working directory as well. And when building the image, I will run this command nvn clean test, but actually I would not run any test. I just want to execute this command to download all the Maven dependencies into the image. This cmd here means this is the command that will be running when we start the container. Okay, that's it. Now let's build the Docker image. So from here, I'm gonna type docker build -t my test dot enter. So as you can see, it has downloaded the base image. It has set up the working directory. It has copied the src folder into the image. It has also copied the POM file. It's running this Maven clean test command for me. So it's done. Let's check the images. Docker images. So right now there are 2 images on my local machine. The first one is the Selenium one. Okay, the one that we have run before. And this is my image, the image that I have just built. So now let's start a container from this image. So I'm going to type docker network list. So there are right now some networks on my local machine. I'm going to go with this one, host. So I'm going to start the container from my image here by using this command. Docker run -it. The network here will be host, which is this one. This is the name of my container, and this is the image that I want to use to start the container, which is this one. And /bin/bash, which means that I want to get into the container after it has started. So let's enter. Great. So now I'm inside of the container. Let's check in here to make sure that the containers are here. So as you can see, this is the container from the Selenium image, right? And this is my container. So in here, I'm going to type list lh to see the content of my current directory. So now I'm going to run the test nvn clean test login test. Enter. Great. As you can see, it's running. Great. So that's it for this video. I hope it has been useful to you. If you have any questions, please drop a comment in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.